Hey beauties! Real quick before we get into the slay, I want to give a shout out to the Charis glasses. These are by Zelo. They will be linked in the description box. I had a subscriber tell me how much she loved them. Girl, me too. Now, to get into the slay, we are starting with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Universal Blurring Balm Powder. I freaking love this stuff. I love the original, and she came out with a radiant version, so I knew I had to try it, and so finally I did. So this is my first step. So something that I have been doing recently, I just haven't got on camera and filmed or posted about it much. If you notice, if you follow me, I have not posted in probably like 5 months. So I'm kind of getting back into the groove of sharing my makeup slays. But as you'll see through this whole video, I have started using powder puffs to apply all of my wet and cream products. And oh my goodness, it literally leaves my face looking like it has been airbrushed. Trust me. Watch till the end. I will be sure and link all of the powder puffs that I used on in the description box, just in case you're interested. The one that I'm using now is by e.l.f. and all the other ones that I will use are by another brand that I found on Amazon that are amazing, and they are my favorites. Okay, they are my favorites. They just apply my cream and wet products so well. So I like to set my primers regardless of what brand I'm using or what texture they are. I happen to be oily combination skin, so that's what works for me. Now, if you are a person who has dry skin, I probably would not recommend you doing this step and you just skipping it all together. Now, while I allow my primer and the setting powder to get acquainted, I like to go ahead and clean up the bottom of my brows using a potted concealer. I just like a potted concealer because it's thicker and I can spread it more easily than like a liquid or more liquid formed type of concealer. I like to go ahead and go in with the flat brush as you see here and get those together. Now, once I've got them kind of cleaned up to where I want them, I like to take that excess product and whatever's left on a brush and kind of pull that down towards the eyelid. Going in next, I'm going to go ahead and color correct. I probably should have did this before I set my primer, but either way, it's fine because this e.l.f. formula dries down matte, and I will go back after this and go ahead and set that with setting powder anyway after I blend it out. So yeah, it won't disturb or mess up anything at this step in the process. So I am gonna go ahead and blend out those areas that I added that color corrector to. I do have some dark spots on my chin where I experience hyperpigmentation, and just on the very corners of my mouth. It's not too bad, but I do like the way it looks after I put foundation on it. Now going in to a matte concealer that I use on my eyelids as my eyeshadow primer rather than using an actual eyeshadow primer. Okay, I just go in with a concealer brush or a domed eyeshadow brush will work too, and just kind of spread that out evenly across the eyelid until I'm comfortable and until I like it, or it's even to me, you know, whatever. Now, after this, I go into my concealers. I like to use a concealer that's almost the same exact color as my skin. And then at the top, you'll see I'm going to add that lighter shade just under the eye, just to brighten a little bit, because that's just the look that I like when I do my makeup. The finished product is so pretty to me. I do like to go ahead and put concealer over that top lip and bring it around to the other side just for the sake of the blend and the fluid, not that I can't talk, the fluidity of the color balance and blend in the center of the face. Now I'm going to go in and use my contour or a bronzer, whatever you want to call it. I like to use a cream. This is actually a foundation that I'm using. The names of everything will be down in the description box. But I'm going to let that concealer sit there. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and blend my bronzer out because I don't use contour. I don't like gray on my face. But that's just a preference of mine, okay? You do you, okay? Yes. Before I forget, when you are blending out your bronzer, whatever that is, okay, blend into the hairline. Focus on blend into the hairline. So you don't blend into the hairline and makes your makeup look like it is a mask that can literally be peeled off or sucked off your face, okay? Blend into your hairline, sweets. And when you're blending your cheeks, blend up, okay? You want to pull the features up if that's the look that you're going for. If you're going for down, down face, by all means, do you. It's your makeup. Okay, you do it how you want. I'm just saying. For me, blend it up and snatch it. Now, do you see how long I have been blending? Yes, that's how long you need to blend. If you want it to be flawless, blend to perfection, loves. Now back to this concealer that's been sitting here. I use hydrating concealers, so I generally don't have a problem with just jumping right back into my concealer and it's still being very creamy and very blendable. Now, if you find that your concealer has dried down a bit and you're struggling with the blend out, that's fine. You can spray a little bit of setting spray to re-wet it and then continue on as you normally would. Okay? Now, as you saw, I blend the deeper shade first and then I move my way up and blend that lighter shade just under the eye, not the A, just under the eye and down the side of the nose. Okay, because I'm kind of prepping and setting up my nose to be contoured or bronzed. Now, as I blend this concealer up over my nose, I'm going to cover my entire nose because I only put foundation on the outsides of my face. I'm going to go ahead and take that concealer from the nose and take it all the way up between my brows and put a little bit on my forehead. Okay, because I don't start with foundation, I still want to ensure and make sure that my entire face is covered with product so there are no gaps or natural skin peaking because I want a nice fluid look. Without adding more product, I do like to go ahead and go over my lips and some of that color corrector I applied. Now I go back in with my bronzer, powder puff, no new product, just going back over the areas that were bronzed to make sure the blend is superb. Now it is time for me to apply foundation. I go ahead and use a powder puff for that. These are different powder puffs in between, guys. I go ahead and apply my foundation and just begin to blend that into the areas that don't have anything on them already. Okay, so the lower half of my face and underneath towards the neck, and I do put some across my forehead and blend that out as you see. And while I've got you here, follow me on other socials, okay? All of them should be at MJ Daily Slay. There will be a link in the description box where it says connect with me here, where you can find me on all socials and see what I'm up to and how life is treating me if you're interested. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Thank you so much for watching my content, enjoying my content, and hanging out with me today. Now back to our regularly scheduled content. Now listen, pat, pat, pat. Okay, there will be no stone unturned when it comes to this makeup application. We're going to pat and blend and use all of our mirrors from all the different angles, okay, to make sure we are blended. Okay, blended to the gods. Okay, stop playing with me. You see that? Blend them together, girl. Yes, yes. Back at it again with the same powder puff that we use for the bronzer. No new product, okay? We're just making sure that there's no lines of demarcation on this face. Why? Not all at once, because we don't like them, okay? There would be no demarcation, okay? We will blend seamlessly and beautifully. I promise if you do this, you will get the same results. Now on to cream blush, okay? We're going to take whichever brand you liking and you're loving that works for you. You're going to put that on that powder puff, and we're going to pat, 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 okay? Pat, pat, pat. Now, I know and understand that some of our favorite liquid slash cream blushes don't come like in the pan. They come in the tube with the doe foot. That's fine. You can dab that on the back of your hand, pick it up on your powder puff or your tool and blend it out, or you can apply it directly to the face if you're feeling that confident and that good. Baby, do your thing, okay? But we will be applying cream or liquid blush, okay? Trust me. Trust the process, okay? You know what this is. Take that bronzing tool and go over those bronzing areas. No more product, just the tool. Trust me. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to brighten under the eye. Hey, this is a preference of mine of how I do my makeup. If you don't like to have a bright under eye or a somewhat brightened under eye, you don't have to do this part. But I love me a nice subtle brightening under the eye. It's so pretty to me. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to do it with every look. Okay. So here we are. Okay, now with this step for me, I do use a mattifying concealer, so I go right in. Right after I've applied, baby, I get to blending. Okay, don't let that sit down and get crusty on your face. Now, if you are using a hydrating concealer for this part, you have more time. You can let it sit for a moment, okay? Be mindful of the finish of your concealers, people, okay? Be mindful of whether or not it has a mattifying or hydrating radiant finish. All those things are important because it affects how it wears and how it looks on the face, okay? Now, back to me bronzing in all the places that some people would contour. But yes, I like to go ahead and take my bronzer through the crease of my eye. This is such a simple and fast look for the eyes. This is my favorite thing to do when I'm just not feeling creative or motivated to put on eyeshadow necessarily. Okay, a brown on the crease is going to do you right every time. Okay, every time. So what I do is I go ahead and put whatever I'm using for bronzer through the crease of the eye, and then I'm going to connect that, as you see here in a second, and drag that down my nose and turn that into a nose contour, or use it um, to create the contouring of my nose. You know what I'm trying to say. You see? Yeah, that right there. Okay, now everybody doesn't contour their nose, and you know that's cool. Everybody's nose contour is not gonna look the same, and it's not supposed to look the same. Why? Why is that? Because everybody's nose is different, okay? And it has different curves and shapes and all those beautiful things that make us unique, beautiful people, okay? This is just how I choose to contour my nose. So, what I would recommend if you were a person who were interested in contouring your nose or learning to contour your nose, watch people who have similar noses to you and just practice. Everything gets better with time. Practice. Okay? Now for this next step, we are moving on to powder products. Okay? The cream and liquid products are laid and slayed. Now let's set them in place so they don't move. Okay? I don't bake, okay? I go in under my eyes with a pressed powder, okay? Lightly, okay? You need a mirror that you can really, really see your face. Don't you grab this stuff and kick it up under your eye and then come back in these comments saying, MJ told me to do this. No, 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 I did not. I did not. Lightly press your powder puff into your pressed powder and lightly press and dab and tap. Watch it, look at it. You should start to see a smoothing and blurring effect happen to your skin. Do not go overboard with this, okay? Because then you're going to be walking around looking like Keisha. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So don't do it. Don't you do it. For the last time, don't you do it. Take your time, use a mirror, and just lightly pat and blend. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and go in with our loose setting powder. This is a lighter loose setting powder than my skin tone, and I like to set my nose with this one and my smile lines with this one. Okay, as you'll see me lightly just dust this on with a brush. You will not see me go in with a powder puff and pack or with the blender. You won't see me do that. It's what I'm doing, a soft dusting. Okay, a soft dusting, if you will. Okay? A soft dusting. Nothing more. Do not cake this up. Okay? Do not cake this up. It's going to look like I'm applying a lot of powder, and that's subjective. Maybe I am. Okay? But use it with a brush and dust it on. Okay? The loose powder that I'm using right now is a tone that matches my skin tone. Okay, and I'm just going to dust the rest of my face with this. Why? Because MJ has oily combination skin. Okay, and I need this makeup to last me, and I need it to slay, and I don't want it to look like a grease ball by the end of the day. Okay, this works for me. Don't do it if you have dry skin. Please don't do it. Oh, and if you've made it this far, hi, my name is MJ. I'd love you to subscribe, like, and comment, and join my happy family. Back to the makeup. Going into bronzer, these are my two favorites. I love them, okay? Bronze, powder. Even though we did the cream, you still gotta set it with the bronzing powder. Trust me, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, flawless. Bronze into the hairline. Do you see this? Bronze into the hairline, guys, okay? Look at it. Just buttery, smooth, bronze into the hairline. It's such a beautiful melting of color and shades together when it's done right. I just love makeup so much, guys. Now me starting to feel myself. Yes. Okay, blush. Let's go ahead and apply this blush, guys. I will put it down in the description box which one I'm using because I had to depot it and put it in something else because the packaging was not doing it for me. And I don't want to go on a long monologue about this, but this is such a pretty blush. It is a pink shade that has like a satin or shimmery kind of finish. Side note, if you have texture skin, careful with these shimmer blushes, okay? Now going into the highlight for those of us that still highlight, because I do, because I still like highlight. I don't care, I don't care. But I do like a very subtle, soft highlight. I always have. I like for it to look natural and just for you to really be able to see it when the light hits it, okay? Don't streak my face. Never did that, never will do that, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on these eyes, even though the eyes are done. Look at that. Boom. 3 seconds, y'all. I just went into a nice little muted brown from this palette that I have that I love. It is a tried and true. And I just take me a large blending brush and just buff that through the crease. That's it. That's all, my babies. Buff it through the crease. Look at her. Pat and blend. So cute. I think I used one more color on this lid, as you'll see here in a little bit, just kind of like a lighter brown. I'm going to switch to kind of like a pinched blending brush you'll see here shortly, and I'm going to run that just below the brow line. Here we are, just to make sure that that blend is perfection. Okay, the blend needs to blend. Boom, there we are. Boom, there we are. Blend it, babe. Okay, either way, we're marrying these two colors together so they flow seamlessly from one another. Okay, that is the goal with eyeshadow. Okay, Now let's go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of brow gel in these brows to kind of get them in position, lay them how I would like for them to lay. Okay? Brows are so important to your face. Trust me when I say this. If your brows are bad, your slay is going to fade. It's not going to hit the way you think it does. No tea, no shade. Okay? Learn to do your brows. Practice your brows, my babies. Okay? Okay, so while I let my brows kind of dry down, I'm going to focus on this lower lash line. Right now, I'm just applying a cute black eyeliner down in that water lash. What is a water lash? Waterline. Jeez. And yeah, I'm taking this cute chocolate brown shade and I'm just going to kind of press that down just to kind of set that black into place. Then once I've applied that chocolate brown color, I go in with that lighter color that's closer to the shade of the powder under the eye. And I'm going to make sure that that blends well and transitions from dark to light. Moving on. Now I'm going to move on and go ahead and do my inner corner highlight because I do not know why I cannot do a face without some type of inner corner highlight. Maybe it has something to do with the shape of my eye or how, the spacing of my eyes. I'm not really sure. Or maybe I just simply like the way that it looks. I don't know. But you're going to get this inner eye highlight. You're going to get it. Okay? So, yeah. Okay, now real quick, I put mascara on my lower lashes. That's it, that's all. I don't like to film it because it always makes me make such ugly faces. I don't like it, pineapples. Okay, back to the brows. The brows are dry. I go in with a micro pencil and I use a brow pen. I am still a person who likes for the bottom of my brows to look really clean and shaped. And sometimes I will do the top brow as I'm doing here. It just really depends on how I feel. Sometimes I'll do the top and sometimes I won't. I'll just do the pen alone. But in this one, I did do the brow with the micro brush at the top as well to kind of help shape. But as I said, here I am with the pen. The pen just, fills out the brows. Okay, it's cute. Do it. Now, last but not least, my favorite part, the lips. I love doing lips. Okay, lip me. Do you hear me? I'm going in with a dark brown lip liner, and this is my lip combo. I did like a pinky lip because I wanted to go nude or natural, and then I went in with a cool toned lip gloss to top that off. And then I decided at the last minute that I was not satisfied with my eyes. Yes, makeup is like this. You may look at the finished product and decide, nah, it needs something, it's missing something, and that's fine. Do what needs to be done for you to be happy with your makeup, okay? I threw a wing on. I'm a wing girly. I've been a wing girly since I started playing in makeup, and I don't know why I thought I was going without a wing today. Tripping. Anyways, what you just saw was me basically cleaning up underneath my wing that I added later. Here is the final look. I hope you like it. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, and I love you.